Awesome. I appreciate everyone being here. Thank you so much. This is the June 2026 monthly community conversation. Our topic this month is men's health. And my name is Jen. I'm a volunteer for Project Human. I've been with the organization for a little over a year and have just become very passionate about what Project Human does for the community and for people. These conversations are a monthly way for us to connect to the community, to come together and explore real topics that impact all of us in our mental states, in our emotional lives, and how we just build our overall well-being and to be human about it, which I love. Part of addressing the topic that we're going to talk about tonight with health, specifically for men, taking care of the guy in the mirror, is to acknowledge that health is not just what is in your body, it's also what's in your mind, what's in your heart, what's in your spirit, how you connect with others. And we want to cover all of that tonight. So, disclaimers, always want to start that we are not medical professionals. This is a peer-to-peer advocacy organization. If you are in a crisis, please reach out to your local mental health resources, dial 911 for immediate assistance, or for national suicide prevention, please dial 988 and get the help that you need. By participating in this meeting, we appreciate you, and you automatically are giving us permission to use any audio, video content for promotional purposes. Everyone is welcome to go on and off camera at will. Project Human, if you haven't heard about us, is a human first focused nonprofit, one that bridges the gaps in mental and emotional health through communication, education, creativity, and community connection, like tonight. We are intentionally creating access points for folks that may not know what resources are at their fingertips, so that they can approach saving and helping themselves in an approachable human way, knowing that they are supported by a community. Through these monthly calls, through our quarterly mental health days, through our podcast, and through the creative activities that we do as an organization, we bring our lived experiences, resources, education, and dialogue to the community. And our impact begins with this kind of conversation, this connection, this awareness. And so, what we talk about is our opportunity to, I have a little bit of an echo.
That was me.
Got it. Okay, I've got you on mute, Don. So joining us today, I just want to remind you that all that you feel, that you go through, that you experience as healing, this is part of our connection as humans. So thank you for being here. Our topic, men's health, is one that is, I think, close to any person that has a man in their life or to the men that are here on the call. When we think of men's health, we might immediately think about going to the doctor, losing weight, checking your blood pressure, looking at your cholesterol, or maybe you want to exercise more. And those things matter. But tonight we want to take a broader view of what health means and what it takes to help men stay healthy, physically, mentally, emotionally, and socially. Not to be perfect, obviously, but to be able to show up for yourselves, and for the people and things that matter the most to you. So I don't want to be talking at our participants tonight. I want it to be a thoughtful, driving discussion. So I've got a number of questions designed to just get your thoughts, your feelings, and kind of perspective share throughout the evening. There are no right answers. It's just what you think. And that is awesome. So please be willing, ready, and able to share your experiences, your ideas. Maybe you'll even pick up a thing or two from somebody else on the call and start taking better care of yourself. So I'll start with the very obvious question of what does men's health mean to you? And I open this to everyone on the call, not just the men, but also our ladies joining us tonight. Feel free to come off mute and let us know the first thing that comes to mind.
I'm going to pause and let the gentleman speak first.
Well, I guess I'll be the wanted to jump on the grenade first. What does it mean to me? Well, it's been a big, obviously a big year for me. So it's actually kind of cool. Because of over a year ago, I was definitely not feeling so hot. So definitely had to take more control of my well-being. I also had that shoulder replaced, and that brought me down some. But since then, getting back in the gym and eating better and taking the right vitamins has helped out tremendously. I've lost 72 pounds since last July.
Oh,
So,
congratulations.
so thank you, and it feels awesome. Like I feel like myself again. Energy is back. I feel like I can do a bunch of stuff. So yeah, men's health and just health in general is a bit more important this last year than it ever has been in the past. And I've always felt like I was pretty healthy in the past, but obviously was not.
Awesome. Awesome. Daniel or John, do you want to share? Oh, and I see we have O'Neill. Do any of you want to share what men's health means to you? First thing that comes to mind.
Well, I'll speak a little bit, I guess. As I know Jen knows, I had a heart attack at 32 years old. Um, and that was a big turning point in my life. Of course, come to find out now that it wasn't it wasn't an unhealthy lifestyle that led to that. It was a congenital defect, but nonetheless had to start taking a lot of better care of myself in the aftermath of that. And that involved, a complete lifestyle change, change in diet, change in sleeping habits, change in exercise routine, as well as my mental health. I was going through a really stressful time at that time, made a career change right before that, and just had to kind of find my way through that. And the big thing was to prioritize myself through all of that, not my career, not anybody, just me, and focus on my physical health, my mental health, you know. And I lost a good bit of weight through that, and it's kind of, over the years it's kind of come and gone, but my health is better than it's ever been still, and it feels good to be here.
It's awesome. That's
Thank
what.
you. And our new joiners, John, and O'Neill, just to let you know, you got to hit the unmute button before you talk.
Hello, everyone.
Hello.
We can't hear you, John.
Just jumping on, so I'm trying to
Oh,
figure out.
there you go.
I got
All
you.
right. Hi, John. Thanks for joining us. Hi, O'Neill. Thanks for joining us. Would you like to share just what comes to mind when you hear the phrase men's health?
Yes, I like to piggyback on the gentleman's just nice said. 5 years ago I was had pre-diabetic, and it was something that really hit me by surprise because I try to exercise and try to eat right, but something that you can't really control. I found out was mainly in my DNA. My father had it, as well as his father had it, and my physician at the time, he said, "Well, I'm gonna put you on a diet," and it was, of course, some days we don't eat correctly, and we try to eat correctly, and the job that I was working on, and the position that I was working at, it was very stressful, and that was causing me to not sleep correctly, not have my eating proper meals. So that was 5 years ago, and I just turned it on full fast. I start exercising, eating right. I remember I going in the office, and the physician said, "Okay, you're gonna have to stop doing this. You're gonna have to lose weight." And I think a year later, she was saying that I made a completely turnaround. Her patients, all of her patients she had previously, I was one of them that really, really made a turnaround when you say pre-diabetic, for as my blood sugar, it went down, for as I lost weight. And I just continue to do that, you know.
It's
So,
awesome.
yes.
That's a journey, and congratulations to you for pushing through that, and to Daniel for rehabilitating yourself post heart attack, and to John for rehabilitating yourself post your shoulder injury and surgery. O'Neill, do you want to share your perspective on what you think of when you hear the phrase men's health?
I think for me, the hardest part is to get motivated and to get into the right routine. Um, Life throws so many curveballs at you and circumstances that pull you out of your own regimen. And so for me, the hardest thing has been to get motivated and to just get out of my funk, you know, and it's not easy because, you know, I've seen a lot of things that have traumatized me over the years. And in a lot of cases, you get into like a depression, which has been my hardest thing to get over the last few years. And so I feel like for me, I think the only thing is to just make the sacrifice and the plunge to really dig deep and to just try to pull it out of me. And it's not easy. I struggle with my own health conditions and things, and you know, I applaud the gentleman that spoke of his heart, because I'm very familiar with heart problems myself, and so it's not easy, but you know, we have to keep going, right? We have to keep the struggle alive, and I try to pray and meditate every day, and the struggle is real. So for me, it's really hard, but I got a gym membership now, and so I'm really trying to go. I've had an ear infection for the last month or so. I've been fighting in these allergies. They're pretty crazy right now, but for the most part, I think I'm starting to, you know, beat it, and I hope that, you know, after I'm over it, I can finally get motivated enough to keep on going. It's hard.
These are really thorough and wonderful answers. Each of you has touched on your physical health, your mental health, your emotional health. You've talked about needing to find a sense of intrinsic motivation within yourself in order to push you towards a healthier life, whether that be for your mind or your body or your spirit. And often in a conglomeration of doing all of these at once, even if maybe only one of these things feels like it's out of place at the moment. Often they all are. Um, when we talk about health, we are thinking about our body, our mind, and our heart or our spirit or that which connects us socially to other beings. We'll call it connection. Um, and it fluctuates in and out, up and down in these spaces like constantly. So we focus more on one, we might be putting the other on a back burner and it'll come back to bite us. If we focus on taking care of our social outreach, maybe we're drinking too much and our body suffers. If we focus too much on our mind, maybe we're not doing as much for our body. And it's like a three-legged stool. If you cut one of the legs off, it's going to teeter-totter and fall over. We have to think about holistically. So I think about if we are weak in one area,
Great analogy.
and thank you. If we're weak in one area, like we all talked about going to the gym, you know, if your legs are weaker than your upper body, you're likely to fall over. If you have big arms but no chest or back, you're likely to have limited structural strength. Um, Same way as if we have and mental challenges, it's hard to focus, it's hard to get motivated. If we have emotional challenges, it might be hard to get focused or motivated. And we just kind of fall out of balance. Um, if you all have ever experienced that, can I just get like a show of hands? I've done it. All right, that's a 100%. So don't feel like it's you, just you alone. It's literally all of the humans. And there are people in our community that have probably gone through something really similar to what you're going through or have gone through, and that gives you permission to reach out, make a social connection, and reach out to the community and ask for support when you need it. So remember that you have us, and that there are people that are going through it too. Um, let's start with talking about our bodies. So, universally speaking, none of us is a spry little 20-year-old anymore. If anyone is joining us online and you're 20, I love it for you. Congratulations. Do everything while your body can. Uh, as you get older, it gets harder.
Yeah, fair.
Your body lets you do so much when you're young. All night ragers, crazy hikes that no person in their right mind would do, bungee jumping, skydiving, all the crazy. But as we age through our 30s, our 40s, our 50s, 60s, and beyond, it's like that bill comes due. Your body's like, hey, remember that time we were partying in our 20s? Let's feel that now. And the body remembers. We recover slower. We notice aches that we didn't used to have. Sleep matters more. Movement matters more. So you don't have to be a gym rat to engage in movement or building strength, walking, biking, yard work, swimming, lifting weights, or playing sports, maybe taking the stairs instead of the elevator if you work in an office building, maybe parking your car like 10 parking spots further away to just get in those extra steps. These are all ways that we can encourage movement in our lives. Um, but I think that what people forget is that you should do what you enjoy doing. So I'd like to hear what you actually enjoy doing that's a physical activity, and why you love it. So anybody want to share that?
I will say that one of my favorite physical activities that I wish I did more of is riding my bicycle. I got really big into cycling after my heart troubles arose, and I found that to be an excellent form of exercise. It also was great for my mental health, just to get outside and watch the world go by and just ride and explore. And it's been a big outlet for me that whenever I get problems going on in my life and I need to just get out for a bit, it's a great way to do it. Just get on my bike and ride, and before you know it, you've forgotten everything that was troubling you, and you're just focused on the ride and where you're at and enjoying, being outside. It's cycling has been excellent for me, and I wish I would do it more now. I've kind of gotten a little busy at work in the last bit, and I haven't been, as dedicated to cycling as I should be, but uh,
Yes.
I'm looking to get back into it. I love it.
Yeah.
You were saying, John, go ahead.
Yeah. Yeah. For me, I love playing basketball. It's something fun you can do without you knowing that you're exercising. And you was talking about, speaking of age, I think I'm pretty much what you might say, the OG of the group. I'll be 63.
Well, damn, looking good for 63.
Yeah.
And thank you. I remember my sons, like I say, I have two older sons. They got their family. And one way I used to always stay in shape was we used to always go to the park. And having two younger sons playing basketball now, they're grown, they have their own lives. I try to get out and try to stay active as much as I can for us. Like you say, doing something you love to do. Once you do something that you enjoy to do, you're not really gonna think you're exercising because you enjoy what you're doing. So I say ball is one of the things I really love doing. Yes.
Basketball and cycling are great ways to get your mind off things. Rhythmic, repetitive sounds of the ball hitting the ground, the pedaling of the wheels, the sound of the wind in your ears.
And what I loved about both of you guys was when you talked about it, you smiled, so you could tell that like even thinking about it makes you happy. So that's important.
Yeah.
Heck yeah.
So yeah, I still love going to the gym. There's no doubt about that. That's been my safe haven as of right now. If I can be outside and walk, like I'll put my headphones in. If I have a bad day, a miserable day, stressful day, whatever. And Jen, you may know a little bit from what with my my recent stuff. I can put my headphones in, just put my music on, and go for 3 miles, and all I'm doing is just enjoying the environment and my sounds. It's the most peaceful thing ever. Having loud music in my ear and nothing else. So I do enjoy that. Same in the gym. Have the headphones in when I'm in the gym. Don't talk to anybody. I'm there for me, nobody else. Can't really do what I love to do because I'm my shoulders, but I used to love just getting on the wrestling mat, going to wrestling practice, going to, and just
Right.
rolling. That's all I want to do is roll and scrap. But obviously can't really do that anymore. My joints don't allow it, and my cardio might not be the greatest anymore either for that, though it's gotten better. But anything outdoors, really hiking. You just went to Zion, didn't you? Did you guys go out
Yeah,
to see?
we did. We hiked up in Zion just past weekends ago and enjoyed a quite extensive hike.
Yeah.
Uh, I think that one of the things that you said, John, is something that everyone should remember. If you like music at all, music plus activity, that pairing can turn the brain off and allow you to just be in the
Mm.
moment, be in the physical activity in a way that if there is not music, your mind might choose to race
Oh yeah, goes all
and
over the
might
place.
detract from you being able to release yourself into that physical movement. So that's a definitely astute observation about amplifying your movements.
Yeah, it's great.
And I think that in addition to the physical things that we do to move and get our blood pumping, we have to think about rest and what we do to recover, um, whether it's mentally or emotionally, but definitely physically. Sleep, I think recovery is harder as folks get older.
Mhm.
Sleep can sometimes become harder to come by or to keep doing. Many people report waking up more times in the night, whether to use the bathroom or just because their mind is busy as they age. So sleep becomes more and more valuable to us every year. I think I read a cool meme online, naps are wasted on the young.
Yeah,
Gonna
word.
go back, tell my toddler self to enjoy those naps. Gosh darn it, you're gonna wish you had more. Things can look different depending on how well you slept last night. Life can be harder and stressful if you didn't sleep well, but you get that decent sleep, you're going to wake up feeling like a different person.
Uh,
Um, do any of you feel like you get enough sleep at night?
Nope.
yes, you're right. uh, I'm gonna for sleep. Yes, you're right. The hours I work, matter of fact, I'm at work right now. I'm working second shift from 3 to 11:30, and usually time when I get off work 11:30, I get home, shower. By 12:30, 1 o'clock, I'm pretty much in bed. Usually time I sleep up until about 8, 9 o'clock, and uh, I can tell when I don't get a good enough sleep. I I just don't feel right. I'm not the same person than the person I am when I'm well rested. So and it's the hours that I'm pretty much working at my job. Usually, like I said, I work second shift. Usually during the daytime, when I get home at night, it's late, and I know that's contribute to not getting enough sleep. Yes. So you're right. You're correct.
Absolutely. And I don't know if other gentlemen on the call have had experience with different types of shift work,
Oh,
folks who change from daytime hours to night hours, or maybe have a career change or a seniority change and suddenly lose the ability to choose their hours, can suffer from the um, multifaceted health neglect that comes with changing your sleep cycles.
Military hours.
Military hours,
Yeah,
yeah.
I'm all over the
All
place. I don't
kinds
even
of
know.
all kinds of shift work can upset the body's clock and our ability to repair, to restore, to focus on ourselves with a clear head. So I think I would ask, does anybody have like a tried and true trick or a go-to method or a ritual that they do that helps get them ready for bed that might help them stay in bed longer that you want to share the secret, oh wise words with these folks here?
I just do something really boring. So like I'll read a book or I'll play like Sudoku or some kind of math game, something that I can play, but I have to use my brain to think. And at some point, my brain goes, "Nah, this is enough," or I drop my phone on my face or something, and then I fall asleep. Mhm.
The
It's the only
winding
thing that
down.
really works is to really overwork my brain to the point that it said, "Enough. This is boring. I don't want to do it anymore." And then I can sleep. Other than that, I will stay up till 4 or 5 in the morning, go to sleep for 2 hours, and be up and do the same thing all over again.
Does anybody have one of those like blue light cutoff things where you tell yourself, I'm not going to look at a screen for X number of minutes before bed?
I've tried that now for the last 6 months or so. I've been trying to do like a sleep hygiene thing because I don't get sleep at all. So I've
Mhm.
definitely been looking at I actually was talking to a counselor about it with sleep hygiene, and that was one of the things was screen time after 8 o'clock. Just turn off all the any don't get stuck in TikTok or go down the wormhole.
That's
Oh
Um,
yeah.
Oh, I
that's
just deleted that.
that, that is so true. I don't mean to interrupt you. I'm sorry.
no, you're good. Go.
Oh yeah, yeah. You're right. Like I say, the hours I get off work 11:30, and to myself, it's with me. It's just my body. I like I said just last night, got home, took a shower. Of course, I have what you might call a wind down time. I have to just sit down for just 10 minutes and just let my body just relax. And then after that, I tell myself, hey, yeah, I mean, it's just a clock, like you said, it just goes off and say, hey, it's time for you to get
Mhm.
to bed. Don't fight it. Just go on, go to bed. And usually it's like the next morning, rest.
Losing you there, John.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, there you go. You're back.
I say yes. Sometimes, like if I don't listen to my body, and usually it's like a time clock that goes off and tell me, okay, 1 o'clock, 1:30, you need to be in bed. So I don't even fight it. I just force
Mhm.
to get in bed and just, pretty much lay down, and then eventually I go to sleep.
I would
O'Neill or
say
Daniel?
I was gonna say I worked second shift before, and second shift was a lot of fun when I was younger. And the older I got, the harder it was. And the biggest
Right,
thing I learned was you gotta go to bed. Otherwise, next thing you know, you're sleeping through your morning. You're not
right,
getting anything
right.
done during the day, and you're just in this
Oh,
loop of going to work and going it's no fun at all. It's
you're
tough.
right. You're right.
Milk and cookies works for me, and if not, I do, I just feast until I go into like a sugar coma
That's
and then
not true.
fall
You
asleep.
watch Mimi movies.
Or I watch Adam Sandler movies
We call them
on
Mimi
repeat.
movies.
You just watch the same movie over and over again, and eventually, like as soon as it comes
It's
on, you just pass out.
I think that's what Yolanda was saying. Like your brain is like, I know this. This is a
Mhm.
repetition thing. I'm done with it. We can go to bed. So the winding down, the disconnecting from blue lights, the taking a shower and going through a routine to get ready to decompress, to do something that's boring or repetitive until your brain relaxes and shuts down. These are all really important ways to make sure you get enough sleep. So your body health, it matters. And even if you take excellent care, you might have a great physical body, but it doesn't automatically mean that you have a healthy life. So we have to take care of our minds as well. And let's take a minute to talk about what each of us do to keep our minds healthy. So mental and emotional well-being are often overwhelmed by things like stress,
Right.
things that we can't control,
Mm,
whether that's hereditary health issues or maybe your job situation, the hours you have to work.
mm,
The world can, like you had said, I think, O'Neill, the world throws curveballs. And for a lot of men, I've heard stress isn't so much the challenge as pretending as a man that you're not stressed, that you've got it all under control at all times, pretending that you don't need someone to talk to. You'll just manage and keep going, keep
Right.
trucking.
Exactly.
I'm seeing a lot of nods.
Yeah.
So you guys, you're carrying a lot of responsibility at at work, at home, financially, emotionally, you may be supporting others. Often you're doing all of this not just for yourself, but for other people, for your friends, for your family, for your coworkers. If you are a business owner, for your employees, you are shouldering this and trucking on, but you get so busy focusing on others that you stop checking in with yourself.
Right.
So, my question is, knowing that you're all aware of this and you don't, obviously, nobody likes pretending that everything's great. When life gets tough, what's your go-to way to cope, to process that?
I think as a man, you tend to just deal with it on your own, in your own way, a lot of times. Because the manly thing to do is to just, not talk about it and just keep on going. Like try to stick to optimism and not be, carry a crutch around. And that's at least the way I had been for a long time. But eventually it wears on you to a point to where you just can't do that anymore. You can't just keep going like that or shrugging it off and just keep on going or being a man and saying, okay, whatever. It is what it is. Keep on going. Stop being, for lack of better terms, wussy or, this, that, and the other. It's an ego thing a lot of times.
Right.
And so I feel like you got to get past the ego trip and really focus on internalizing what it really is that's going on. Because I feel like we don't even really know what the hell's going on sometimes. And so we just keep on trying to keep going, trying to keep on the fighting because we're like warriors. At least some of us are. Like me, I've always been a warrior. I've always been a fighter. I've always been this tough guy going to the gym and hitting the weights. I used to box. I know martial arts. All these things. And so, but it gets to the point to where life can be so hard that it will knock you down. But the fight, you keep on fighting, and you have, and it's like what Rocky says. It's like you fight, and then you keep on getting up, and it's
mm,
not about, you
I mean,
know, it's,
yeah,
it's about the struggle. It's not about whatever it is. It's getting to the end and getting hit, and when you get down, you can get back up and get hit
mm,
again and get back up and get hit again. That's to me is the way I look at life. And some tools that I use are like meditation. I pray a lot. I try to keep strong in my own faith. I'm very spiritual but not religious, and so I look all religions and I coexist and I try to understand everyone's perspective. And the thing that I noticed is a lot of people, they're not mentally open enough to adapt to other people's ways of thinking and ways of doing. And so they keep on struggling with their own way of doing things. And I feel like eventually we got to open up to different ways. And I know I said a lot, but I appreciate the opportunity to vent a little bit. So thank you.
It sounds like keeping pretending and keep going and just keep getting hit, get knocked down and get back up again. That can wear a lot on the spirit. Uh, John, or Daniel, do you empathize with what O'Neill was sharing? And would you like to share your go-to ways to cope when life gets tough?
100%. I agree with what he's saying. I think for the most part, most of us are raised to believe that we're fixers, and no matter whatever happens, we're gonna take control of that and ride that lightning. Let the stress can't drive us. We just have to compartmentalize it, and that's where we all get screwed up. It's like, I mean, I've done that for years, and I'm finally I've released that over the last what 2 years now. I mean, well, really the last year. I was trying to do so many things to fix other people's problems and solve their issues instead of focusing on me. And in the last year is when I finally decided, okay, hold on. It's time to stop worrying about a particular individual and worrying about that situation and fix me. And so the music was a big thing. Obviously, I keep going back to music, but the music is my cure all. It's I mean, I put those things in, just listen to the words, and it soothes me. It takes me to a
Right.
place where I need to be, and
Yeah.
it controls it all. It's
Right.
and I don't worry about anybody else. Well, I mean, I can't say I don't worry about anybody else. I still worry about other people,
But
but
you don't focus on them before making sure your house is in order.
right, right. Like I'll make sure I'm there for the people and do things for everybody else, but at the same time, I'm not gonna let it jeopardize my well-being and my health anymore, like I have in the past. I've always put everybody and their families and their dogs before I put myself. And so now it's finally like, okay, hold on. I need to be in that pecking order. So I've really done a lot to step back and stop trying to be the fixer for everybody else.
Right.
Maybe give them wisdom and words of wisdom instead of doing all the work for them.
Right.
That's amazing. John or Daniel?
Yes, I mean, what you two guys are saying, I tell you, that's exactly what I used to go through as a young man. When he was saying, well, we are taught like we are gladiators, or
Mhm.
we fix it. And I was that guy as a young man, has a young family. I got married when I was 23. I had my first two kids when I was 21 and 22. So they looked to me, hey, you the man, you're the breadwinner. You have to go out and provide for your family. That's how you taught, that's how you raise. And then it's like you continue to do that and you feel that hey, you don't know that it's really hurting you when you don't. It seemed like you don't know how to turn it off. Now, once my kids was grown, I was continuing to do that too because it just I guess it was just in me. And then I just um, found out they was affecting my health. Being more stressed out when I don't have to be. So as a man, you got to sit back and examine your surrounding. Like I say, I have a small circle. It's not really too many people I can really go to. I mean, I'm involved in my church. I talk to my pastor, but I have a very small circle. And as men, we have a tendency to, hey, I can work through it. I don't need nobody to talk to. I can handle this situation, but at the end of the day, it's really hurting yourself.
Mhm.
Well, avoiding isolation, remembering that you need to put yourself in the pecking order, reflecting on your faith, and stepping outside of the identity or role of the warrior, the provider, the doer, the fixer. Daniel, what can you add to this? Are there ways that you use to cope?
Well, as far as coping goes, yeah, definitely. So a big thing for me to cope with whenever the stress starts to get to be too much, I run away from it in a way. I like to get outside. I go fishing. I go for a hike. I do something to get away from everything and try to get my mind clear. And while I say, yeah, run away from it in a way, there's a quote that I think of from a musician that I like, and he talked a lot about a lake that was near where I grew up that he would go fishing on, and people would say to him, "You go there to escape reality." And he thought about it and he said, "No, I go there to get to reality and get away from these problems that I invent." And
Mm.
so it is your escape in a way, but it's also a way for you to ground yourself and reset and kind of reassess where you're at and what you're going through, clear your head and formulate a plan, or maybe evaluate things and say, all right, maybe this isn't as big of a problem as I thought it was, or whatever. It's a way to kind of separate yourself if you have any kind of an outlet. For me, like I said, fishing, hiking, something outdoors, that doesn't necessarily ring true to everybody, but everybody I'm sure has some kind of an outlet they can go to and kind of stop and think and clear their mind and reset so that they can approach that from a more even space rather than letting the stress dictate their steps forward.
Go ahead,
Yes.
Yolanda.
Hey, so I know I'm a lady. I get it. But I am my father's oldest son because he only had girls. And so I had a front row seat to watching my dad, who is a blue collar worker, who said work and money always came first. Um, Not being able to go to like games and do things with us growing up, being stressed. And what we did is when he was stressed, we would work on a new car. So we rebuilt old classic and vintage cars, and then we resold them. That was like his thing, which became mine and my sister's thing. Um, and so every time he wanted to work on a car, we knew something was going on, but like neither of my parents were very big on emotional shares or figuring things out. It was kind of like, there's a problem, we'll deal with it, everyone else shut up. And that's just how it always was. And so I got married, had children, all that stuff. And my dad and my mom are still pretty much the same way. And um, my dad got sick. And to me and my sister, he was only sick for a small amount of time. Come to find out, he'd been hiding it for a really long time. And by the time we found out, we lost him like less than a month later. And before he died, though, I was blessed to be there. He got saved by a friend of his that we stopped by and saw on the way to take him home to be with his family. And I remember him telling me how, and you have to remember, like, I was raised as his son. So he had been on me constantly about uh, my work ethic and going to work and making sure all the things in my household are met, even though I'm not my husband, me. So, and so he was always on me about money and about this and about that and about my hours and my paycheck, just always. And he told me basically on his deathbed that he wished he would have listened to me and understood it was more about the time and spending time together and doing stuff together. And the money wasn't that important. All the things weren't that important. And at that time, my son was in middle school. And my son is my oldest out of four. Um, and I always took time away from my girls, from my son, to have a conversation, to tell him it was okay to cry, to tell him that it was normal to regulate things. Because I didn't get that. And I understand that most men don't get that. Most men don't get to be emotionally vulnerable. They don't get to be mentally vulnerable. Uh, the only time they get some vulnerability is the physicality when they're like, hey, I need to work out. I need to do people understand the idea of a man being strong physically, but mentally or emotionally, it's not the norm. And so I didn't want that for my son. I let him know that no matter what, we could always have a conversation. He can always have a hug. He can always cry if he needed to. And it wasn't a big thing. He could do that with his dad as well. And even my husband, we're 25 years in and he's still not comfortable to cry in front of me or anything, but he does talk more. Sorry, I'm getting emotional, but so yeah, he does have the conversations more often now. He does have a sense of vulnerability now, but that's taken years upon years upon years of being like, it's okay. Nothing you can do is going to make me bail. Nothing you can do is going to make me look at you less than. You're a human being first. And I think that's a big thing when it comes to health of men and women is like when we view each other as human beings, because then everybody's mental health matters, then everybody's emotional health matters, spiritual health, physical health. And once we start looking at people like human beings, you start realizing that there's so many gaps that we've been missing for each other. And it's really sad, I think, as a mom of boys and girls, to see the way the world treats them differently. And, we treat our girls like, oh, it's okay, you're crying, come here, darling. But our boys were like, suck it up, get back to work, go do your thing. And it's like, absolutely not, come here, come here. Like, I love you. It's okay, cry it out, and then go get back to work. Like, so, but I do the same
Right.
thing to my girls. Okay, okay, now go do what you're supposed to be doing. Like,
Is that a bullet wound? Rub some dirt
yeah.
on it, drink out of the hose,
Oh,
go back to
military,
playing.
ibuprofen. Let's go. Out the door. In the wound.
So Yolanda touches on something that we're actually going to spend a lot of time talking about next month in July, monthly community conversation, which is about breaking ourselves free of the roles and identities that we have that have been either instilled in us by others or that we've taken on and identified with ourselves. Um, it doesn't get talked about enough. We are programmed by our surroundings, by expectations of our social constructs, to be believing that men are providers, men are the warriors, the problem solvers, that they are the ones that are breadwinning, that they are taking care of their family, they're the rock. And you can be those things and also be a human with feelings and struggles and the need for support and connection and someone to talk to and someone to vent to and get perspective from. And that requires you to have a community, a support group. John, you called it your circle. And as we get older, I think all of us have experienced those circles can get small and tight, but they get stronger, and the longer someone's in your circle, the less likely they're going to leave it after a long, long time. And those become dependent social constructs that we rely on. One of the things that seems to be common among men is that friendships can get harder to maintain as life gets busier. Maybe there are more and more demands in the family or at work or with life. Maybe the people that you're trying to be friends with have too many demands with their lives and don't want to take time out for nurturing buddies and bromances. These are essential pieces of the human social connection that the glorified God of busyness needs to let go and let us have back. Um, and I think it's harder for men to maintain friendships as they get older. But I'd like to get the perspective of those on the call. Gentlemen, do you find maintaining or building new friendships to be harder as you've gotten older? And if not, how are you doing it and what makes it stick?
I don't think so. I mean, I guess when you're younger, you worry about those things. You worry about having all the friends. You worry about being, part of something. As I'm older, if my friends are around, or if I got friends, we're hanging out, we're doing stuff. If not, I'm not sweating it. I'm not worried about it. I don't let it bother me anymore. I'm not part of a clique anymore. I don't need to be part of a clique anymore. I'm in my house with my dogs. That's it right now. I love
Yeah,
it. Peace and quiet. I don't need to satisfy anybody else.
right,
And friends are going to be there. If your friends are your friends, they're going to be there 10 years. You see them again for the first time. It's like you saw them yesterday. So,
right. Yes. And that is, I mean, that is so true what John was saying. I'm at the age, like I say, it's like we're not in high school. I mean, I have a very small circle. If a circle, like with me, is work, I go to the gym, home, I have my grandkids this past weekend. I spend time with them. I take them to the movies, drop them off to their parents. I'm back home for as like John was saying, friends on my job. Yeah, they're friends on my job for as leaving work, going and having a drink or hanging out. That's not me. That's past me. I enjoy peace. I mean, I'm not saying that's not me. but this is not my kind of peace, you know.
So
100%.
you have some social connections and you control that, it sounds like, um, and that you have a small circle, but you're okay with that, and you have no problem making friends, but you've got some friends and they're good friends. O'Neill or Daniel, do you feel like it's hard to build or maintain friendships as you get older?
Um, Plus, when you're programmed a certain way, I feel like, you know, for men, it becomes harder to trust others and to really have what you consider to be a friend, right? It's like there's different, to me, levels of people that you encounter that could be considered a friend or family. And
Mm.
for me, I've always had trust issues when it comes to building friendships, and so that's a struggle that I have. I'm just programmed like that, and so for me, peace of mind is just to be solo and to not even entertain others for the sake of just entertaining.
Right.
I have friends from like high school and things like that that I keep in touch with over the
Right.
years, and I have family and different groups of different people, but for the most part, like close knit friends that I see every day and things like that, not really, like not like that.
And it might be the need to find social groups that have shared interests as a foundation and maybe ease your way into creating acquaintanceships with people who share interests, which is just a matter of, I guess, finding the right time or finding the right group or making yourself vulnerable to create a new relationship, to endeavor to create a connection. Daniel, your thoughts?
Kind of going along with the theme there of what the other guys are saying, I think as I've gotten older, it's just more I value the quality of friendship rather than the quantity of friends.
Right.
So my circle is in where I live now, it's very, very small. It's mostly just guys I work with, we'll hang out some, but it's really more when I go home 2 states away. That's where I see my long, term friends or whatever. Don't really feel like I need to have a lot of people around. I'm around a lot of people at work, and then outside of that, I have a very small group that I occasionally get together with, and other than that, I'm happy to just have my peace and quiet for the most part.
I'm hearing a little bit of a recurring theme of I love my small circle, but I need my peace and my quiet. And it sounds like that's maybe the big message tonight is navigating your health requires some time to reset, and that might be play with your dogs, go home and just put on some music, go for a bike ride, hit the gym with your headphones on, maybe journal or read a book that is helping you guide your mind in ways that you might not naturally think of. But these enriching activities are all meant to bring peace in an otherwise rather stressful surrounding environment, and that it seems that each of the men that have joined us tonight value that peace.
I
So
think we've all gone too hard. I think when we were younger, I think we all went too hard. We all were
maybe
too busy to have a good
maybe
time.
so. Maybe we went a little
That's true.
aggressive.
100%. I know I did. That's why my body's falling
100%.
apart now.
So you all have kind of opened my eyes on what's important to men in my world. Um, and I want to take that with me. I know peace is important to me as a woman. Um, it's so neat to see the parallels across sexes in what's valuable to us. Um, Looking at our time right now, I want to kind of wrap the conversation. We've talked about our body health, our physical health. We've talked about the health of our minds, our emotions, and we've talked about our social and connective health. In different ways, we are all finding balance in these three spaces. Um, and they're never equal. So, whatever one is strongest for you right now, think about that. And whichever part of that could use a little bit more attention. Maybe you need a little bit more time to spend with your mind. Maybe you need a little bit more time to spend with your body. What's going to bring you that peace and that balance? Just reflect on that for a minute, you know? Take care of your body enough to keep doing the things that you love to do. Take care of your mind enough to enjoy the life that you're building around you or that you have labored very hard to build around you. And stay connected to your circle, to your people, to your dogs, to the ones that you care about. Stay connected to make the journey worthwhile. And you don't have to do all of it at once, every day, every minute. Just taking one extra next step, that's enough. And, you know, spend some time thinking about your health. So from the lens of Project Human, thank you all so much for being on the call and sharing your thoughts and perspective with us. For folks joining us online via the recording on YouTube, thanks for joining us. We're so glad you could be here, and we hope you could take something away from tonight's conversation. As a reminder to all participants, Project Human is a peer-driven nonprofit. We are human for human. We are always looking for volunteers who want to reach out and help other humans, connect with other humans, and build a wonderful community. If you would like to be a volunteer to help us expand the mission to benefit and reach more people in the community, reach out. If you feel called upon to be part of something meaningful, reach out. We would love to have you. You can visit our website. It is www.phinc-ing.org. That's Think, Project Human Inc., Think-ing, a new way of thinking about life. Thank you for being part of this conversation. Like I said earlier, next month we're going to be talking about freedom and transformation in honor of our nation's 250th anniversary. We're going to be talking about personal identities, the names, symbols, and roles that we all adopt for ourselves, and the boundaries that we need to put up in order to release ourselves from those and live a more peaceful life. Your voice matters, your health matters, and you matter. Thank you all so much for being here. Have a good night.
Thank you. You too.
Right.
Thank you,
Thank you everyone for
gentlemen.
coming.
Thank you all. Bye for now.
Good night.
Good
Good
night.
night.
Get sleep.
Get sleep. Bye,
Play
everybody.
Sudoku.
All right.
Awesome.
Bye, guys.